In this video, we will build a basic D3 graph using React.js. So first I will clean up the app.js and I will import React, and we will be using useref, and we will map it to an SVG element, and our basic setup for D3 is ready. Next thing, let's install D3 package. So now we will include it in our application. First thing is select. So we are going to select the ref created SVG inside use effect. So here we select SVG ref dot current, since current is where our reference is. Now let's add attribute to our SVG. First one is width. For now, let's add a static width and height. So it doesn't take the dynamic property. So we will get it as a value. So document dot body dot client width and client height. So next thing, we will start using this SVG. For now, we will store our graph data in data.json inside a public folder. Here I'll create a new file, data.json, and paste it, and we will format it. In order to access this information, I will type slash data.json in our URL. Since it is in public folder, it will be openly available, and it is not most commonly recommended way. Here I'm going to import a function called JSON. It is a Ajax call from D3.js. Here I'm going to give data.json, and it's a promise. Once we get the data, we will log it for now. And in the browser, if we open console, we can see we are getting the data. So now we will use this data to build our graph. So here I will be storing it in hierarchy. We'll pass the data, and from hierarchy I will get the links. So we are building tree graph. So let me prepare the layout for tree. Here we'll say tree, and size is going to be the height and width of the page. So we will name it as path, and in tree layout we'll pass the root and get the link. We also need a function to generate our path. For that, we will get link horizontal, and for x we will pass d.y, and for y we will pass d.x, since we are painting it horizontally. Finally, we only have two more steps to draw the path and draw the nodes. So let's start with path. Here I will get the SVG and select all the path, and we have to pass. The path is there in HTML, but we will apply some additional attributes to make it visible. So we will open the path and we will start applying attributes attr, and first one is d, and here we can give path generator. It doesn't seem visible, so I'll break it to the next line, d and the path generator. So once I save it, we will apply a color. In SVG, to apply color, we have to provide fill. So fill, the more relevant one would be stroke. So black, and we will provide stroke width of 3 for visibility. Later we will reduce it. For now we will apply a static height, and if we refresh our page, we have our path. So once we have painted our path, next thing is our nodes. We will do the same what we did for path, but before that we will write a SVG reset. So we will select SVG, select all, star, and we will provide remove, so that we will get a fresh graph in every re-renders. So we will add some comments. Here we will be clearing SVG content before adding new elements, and here we are setting width and height, create SVG and add width and height, and we are making an Ajax call for the data to display in D3.js. Okay. Okay. Now we will start creating our node. SVG dot select all text, and we will add the data. Here we will say root dot descendants. From here we will repeat the same thing what we did for path. Dot enter dot append text, and we will save it. So we will apply additional attributes, attribute color, and we will break it to the next line. Attribute font size, we will apply static font size, and the x is going to be d.y, and y is going to be d.x since it is horizontal. So next thing is data. So here I am going to say text, and I too don't know what information we will get, so we will log it. So I'll open the terminal, and it's an object data dot name. Okay, now in the text we will say d is equal to d dot data dot name, Even more, we will destructure the data and we will pass it here. Now if we save, we can see the nodes are displayed there. To make it more visible, I will add a fill in the path and say none. So now the line is very beautiful. In order to make the text more appealing, I'll add opacity. So now the text is differentiated from the path. So when I say static variable in font size, we can also apply dynamic to any attribute. So here I'm computing it based on the depth. Here if we see the first, second and the third one has a difference in the font size. So D3 is like a ocean and we only explored the basic of it. If you are interested in any topic, leave a comment.